Good evening. Good evening. Yes. Here we go. Giving this a try. What we're doing is we are doing a little tier list today. Thought I'd try something new for the channel. This might be something cool we can do regularly. Or maybe it'll just be, complete and utter shit. And no one will watch it. And it'll be like everything else I do. But anyway, who cares about that? I'll tell you something I care about, which is Souls games, right? Don't you love Souls games? You know, you got our Bloodborns and our Dark Souls, and how about our Souls-like games, like Lords of the Fallen? Look at it over here. This crazy thing, or the other Lords of the Fallen, with this mean guy. How about Liza P? Is it piss easy, or is it the goat? We'll find out. Let's do this, bitch. Alright. So here we go. Our first game. AI Limit. The first game I've not yet played. Sorry. I know what it is. It's like an anime sort of Souls, isn't it? But I've yet to play it. I've got it. I got it for free. I think it is get on the PS store or something for free if you got like PlayStation Plus. But anyway, it was a good time by the looks of things. A very good time. But we'll check it out later. Bloodborne. Oh, come on. It's Bloodborne. It is easily S tier, but is it the GOAT? You know what, we'll decide the GOAT at the end of this. We'll just place them all S to whatever. But yes, Bloodborne. Easy S tier. Come on. About Bloodborne, there wouldn't be so many of these games. This game wouldn't exist. Such a good game. Such an influential game. Easy one of the best Souls games. It's got some of the best weapons, some of the best bosses. It's like a good change between the old Souls style of it being sort of slow in a way. I mean, it's obviously not slow. It's a faster paced game than the usual Souls, but they started getting faster paced after this came out because of this. It's not quite Sekiro level, but it is in terms of like speed. But it is a faster version. It's got a nice setting, and it's all good. So easy S tier. Code Vein. Oh, that's Code Vein number 2. What do you think of Code Vein number 2? Is it poo? I've not yet played it, but I hear it's kind of meh. Yeah, the first Code Vein had like big anime titties, and we all love the big anime titties, don't we? Let's be real here. Let's see if we can zoom in. No, not yet. Get the crab's treasure soon. But yeah, Code Vein 1. But in terms of playing, it's all right. It's like a lot of these games with the anime style that they're not very good, but they've got top tier waifus with big titties. Now this game literally has a waifu with no titties. Like, in fact, there's a void where her chest is. So maybe it should be dropped, but I don't know how this tier, like how do we define dropped? I don't know. But anyway, another crab's treasure. I've actually got this game, but I've yet to play it. Kind of got a SpongeBob kind of look to it. I am interested in playing it though. Maybe we'll play it for the channel. In fact, maybe we'll play AI Limit for the channel. Maybe we'll play Code Vein for the channel, right? Yeah, I need to give this a proper playthrough. I didn't play it that much, but I thought it was like, yeah, it's alright. It's got anime, which is, like, it gets points for that, but, is it any good? Anyway. There's one Demon Souls, I think. And you know, we'll do the Dark Souls games first. So Dark Souls, obvious S tier. It's Dark Souls, even though it's remastered, it's still S tier game. Dark Souls, of course, Prepare to Die edition, S tier. Dark Souls 2, the easiest S tier of all time. Dark Souls 2, amazing game. Don't believe the hate. Then we got Dark Souls 2 again. Yes. Well, okay, so we got Scholar of the First Sin, which is kind of different than regular Dark Souls 2. It is they re-released it with all the DLCs, but they also changed the enemy pattern, like the map and the enemy variety and all that. And a couple of weapons and stuff, added some things, took some things away. But in my opinion, the Scholar Edition is the superior one. And Dark Souls 3, S2 again. You know, just all the From Software games. You know, we got Elden Ring, Night Rain. Get your asses up here, right? And so I don't really. Let's see, Sekiro here, and there you go, Sekiro. So I'll talk about these games in a minute. But you know what, I'll talk about these games last because they're all S tier. Now, Demon Souls, is this the remake? I'm gonna treat it like it's the remake because the OG, without a doubt, belongs in the S tier. I mean, comparatively, you know, like these games are all trying to be these games. Let's be real here. Literally, they are all in the shadow, no matter how good you think they are. Like, spoiler alert, by the way, in case you were wondering if I think Liza P is the GOAT. It's not, but it's good. We'll talk about Liza P in a sec. But yes, the Souls games, there's a shadow here cast down to all these. So it's their job to at least get the here, which is probably the highest they'll get, if I'm gonna be real. But not to be a bit of a soul snob about it. But if this is the remake, we'll go B tier. The OG, S tier. Remake, B tier. Still a good game. It's still Demon Souls. It looks really nice. It's a got very pretty art style. But you know, you can't like take away so much and give back so little. I mean, if you're gonna change so much, why not add the Land of the Giants, you doyles? Nah, you won't give us extra content. You'll just copy someone else's homework. Just copy Miyazaki's homework. Blue Point. That's why he went out of business. Because Miyazaki told the teacher on yous. The teacher being Sony. And when it came time to a possible Bloodborne remake, it never happened. Because of you. Demon Souls remake. You were so close to being good. You could have been A tier, but yeah, I got a lot of gripes with this game. The OG, of course, I have no gripes with. It is a perfect S tier game. But you know, this is the remake. Okay, so the remake belongs in the B tier. Oops. Alright, Dual Corp. I have no idea what this even is. Entroria. I sort of remember this, I'm not sure. But I'm really not familiar with it. Now, let's see, is this the which Jedi game is this? How do I zoom in on this bitch? Sorry, I'm using a new PC here. It's kind of complicated. But Jedi, well, I played one of these Star Wars Jedi games, which is quite a lot like Sekiro over here, an S tier game. But You know, is it A tier? No, but it's good. Yeah, I'll put it in B tier. I enjoyed it. It was it had a lot of things in that I would have liked to see in Sekiro, like a whole enemy list and all that, like a bestiality and some things, and it had some cool moments. But the only reason to like travel off path seemed to be like get different colored lightsabers, and that was fun at first. But then I realized that I'm just getting a different colored lightsaber. It's what's the point? It's not changing anything in terms of gameplay. See, if that was a FromSoft game, you'd get like a new cool super weapon that like for your exploration that really reward you. That's something I feel is lacking. The Thespian Feast, never heard of it. Kazan, I know this game. It looks cool, it sounds cool, but I haven't played it. I think it's a caveman Souls-like game. Hellpoint, never played it. Jedi Survivor. Is this the one I played? No, I think I played that one. I played the first one that came out. Anyway, it's Star Wars. I haven't played it. Crystalla, haven't played it. No, but you're a cat. I think I saw this on the PS Store. And I was thinking about buying it, but it had bad reviews on there. Lords of the Fallen. Okay, now we're getting the games I've played. Excellent. Lords of the Fallen. This is, of course, the remake. And I've only played a little bit of it, I'll admit. Yeah, I should, maybe I should stream it properly, but it seemed pretty BT-ish. You know, it seemed good. Seemed quite good, you know, but it's like, yeah, it's it's just something about the way you play it, you know, like it's, I don't know. It seems so much in the shadow of Dark Souls. Like it seems, it's like fantasy booking, you know. You just, it wants to be Dark Souls so much. And it does a lot of things better. Like it looks really nice. Like graphically, it is amazing to look at. It does some really cool things, but it's not quite A tier. But speaking of the A tier, we have this little boy, this Pinocchio little boy. This little one right here, Lies of P. This isn't, in my opinion, the best Souls-like. It is very blood. If you want Bloodborne 2, we got we got Bloodborne 2 at home, right? That isn't Bloodborne 2, but it's still good, still very serviceable, very the best attempt so far. But I do have some gripes with it. Okay, so it's got like a Sekiro parrying mechanic, which is cool, but the window is very tight on it. And like with Sekiro, you got some leeway. Even if you've got even if you don't have the Kuro's charm, it seems like you got more leeway than this, which like seems to has to be perfect every time. And something about the attack animations. There's just something from Software does so much better than these other games. So, like, I feel more in control. Even when I die, I feel like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. Maybe if I did this instead, I could have avoided death. But there's so many times in Lies of P where I feel like the boss just killed me, or the enemies just jumped me and I died. And I had no chance. You know, but these games, even if I'm playing shit, I feel like it's on me. And speaking of which, speaking of the same concept, once again, Lords of the Fallen OG. I played a lot of this game. I probably played this the most of the. Well, maybe this and something else. I'll get to that. The most of the Soulslikes, but it's all right. You know, back when we only had Dark Souls and OG Demon Souls and Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne, and already played 200 hours of each of those games, and I was looking for something new. And all I had is Lords of the Fallen until Dark Souls 3 dropped. But Lords of the Fallen, it's decent. Yeah, I don't want to hear on it too much. I think it's a good effort, and it's got some good ideas that aren't in Dark Souls. Like if you've got a shield on your back, and an enemy shoots an arrow at it, and it hits the shield, it counts as like a block. I think that stuff's kind of cool. But in this game, there's like, if you attack and there's an enemy nearby, the attack will automatically, gravitate towards the enemy. Like it'll move you towards the enemy, and even if you're not locked on, that really pissed me off. And then there's an enemy that heals, and one of the good ways to kill him is to backstab him, but while he's healing, he tracks you, so he just spins around drinking his bloody Estus flask on the spot while you're trying to run around him and backstab him. And the mage enemies are the worst, because they're like, they suck you dry, not in that way. Not in the way I'd like, but anyway. And then when you kill them, they explode, but since you're just a big fat tank, and the iframes aren't that generous like they are in the Souls games, like, you get hit anyway without any consequence, and also it seems like you're kind of forced to be a tank in this game to get anywhere. But other than that, I think it was a good effort. I think they did a good job. They built a nice world around it, but none of this, what they built here, did I see in this. This is like a completely different universe, basically. I don't know. I did kind of like this game. Mortal Shell, another game I played a little of, but I thought it was decent. I thought it was alright, yeah. I thought it was pretty BT-ish, but Mortal Shell, it's like, it had the good atmosphere. I was in a forest, and I could play me loot at a bonfire. Obviously very Souls, like, very, very much trying to be Dark Souls, but getting the same vibes, but doing it well. And also, I remember being quite a hard game. But yeah, Mortal Shell, that was decent. Alright, Neo. In fact, I haven't played Neo 3, but I played these two. Now, Neo 1, where does it go? You know what? Liza P might be the best Souls-like, but it's got a friend. Yes, that's right, it's Neo. And since, might as well put Neo 2 there too. Might even be better than Neo, but I think Liza P is sort of, I don't know, I'm not sure which one's superior. I got a lot of playtime out of Neo, but like, you do a level, and then you can do it again, but like a dark version of the level. And you can do it again, but like there's a different mission. Neo's a really cool game, but very hard. Same with Neo 2. This had even more stuff. This one, you can create your character. Ain't that nice? Remnant. Haven't played this one. I think. Let's see. Oh no, I have played this one. This is Remnant 2. I haven't played this one. Okay, so Remnant 2. Is it a load of poo? Yeah, I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I played it for like 5 minutes, and I was like, yeah, this kind of sucks. Actually, you know what? I'm moving the C tier because I do like the concept of like Dark Souls but with guns. Why hasn't From Software try that other than Bloodborne? Oh, bloody hell. Alright, don't bloody dox my family. Anyway, Remnant 2, yes, so it, but like it had this like woke Last of Us style story that just did me head in. And I didn't think the combat was all that, but it was pretty fun. Maybe I'll go back to it. Maybe we should stream every game mentioned here on the channel. Anyway, Steel Rising, no idea. Stellar Blade. I'll be honest, I haven't played it, but I want to play it. This looks like an A tier game with A tier titties, right? Right, lads? And an A tier ass. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Stellar Blade. And what is this game? What? Something Universe? Never heard of it. Oh, The Surge and The Surge 2. Well, I beat The Surge and I played The Surge 2 for like two or 3 hours. Yeah, so The Surge, I thought it was pretty C tier. And I think it's worse than Lords of the Fallen 1. People might disagree with that, but for me, The Surge, it's not that good. I wouldn't recommend it. Surge 2 seemed a little bit better, but I don't know if it's B tier, because a lot of people insist this is a B tier game. Like, they insisted, like, dude, this is a B tier game if I've ever played one. That's what they say about The Surge 2, and I believe them. I played it and it was pretty B tier-ish. It was definitely better than the first Surge. I don't know if it's actually better than Lords of the Fallen. I'd say it's better than Code Vein. It's like the king of the C tiers, maybe it will put in the B tier. But I didn't get as much enjoyability out of this as I did with this. So I kind of like this game, but it's a very flawed game. Dimesia, never played it. Tunic, I played a little bit of this. It seemed pretty B tier-ish. Yeah, I'm thinking B tier-ish for Tunic. Like more of a Zelda like. I didn't think it was that Soulsy. You know, I thought it was not that Soulsy at all, but it was fun. Had a nice art style. I liked what I played. I like Zelda. Wolong, haven't played it, and Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. Alright, there we go, there we have it, folks. Our list, where we rank these. Alright. So, you know, you've played the best and get a load of the rest. Would recommend these three. It's pretty good as well. Maybe I'm being too harsh on it, maybe it deserves A tier, but because it like does things like, yeah, you gotta pre-order to get the Scythe, you got pre-order, right? And then by the time you can actually get a PS5, you can't pre-order it when you've been waiting so long to play it and test out the cool new Scythe weapon that you never get to use. You doggles. Screw them. You know what? Dropped. But let's change this as the OG. Let's pretend it's the OG for a second. The glorious Demon Souls OG. Now this is in no particular order right here, but it's in an order. And but what is the order? Are we gonna do a countdown? Am I gonna sort it all out right here? By the way, you can. I'm gonna put you. Yeah, just so we have a representative for each one. Oh yeah, and OG Darks. Actually, you know what? This is different enough from this. I'm gonna keep it there. So let's figure out the order. So Demon, we'll do it in order of release, and we'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. I was doing hand movements as I was talking there, but now for some reason I was expecting this to move as I was moving my hand. Anyway, let's see. So order of release. We'll start with Demon Souls. Where does this rank amongst these bad boys? So it's a good game. It is the originator, the OG. It's got this very Kingsfieldy raw feel to it. It's got a very good atmosphere as well. Something I don't think they've kind of reached since, in terms of like spookiness and just that sort of dark, dungeony atmosphere. You know, Demon Souls, is it better than Sekiro? No. Is it better than Elden Ring? No. Night Rain? I don't know. Okay, so right now, okay, so we'll put Demon Souls at the beginning right now, okay, and then we'll go. So our next game will be Dark Souls 1. What do we think of Dark Souls 1? For me, it was the original, the originator, the game, the one that changed it all, the one that ruined my life. Dark Souls 1. A game that took everything from me, but it made me into a man. You know, you change. You got to go through some hardship to come out the other end. You know, as a kid, you'd do something you don't like, and your grandparents would say, Bill's character. Well, that's what it does. That's what this game, not this game, this game does. It builds you up, makes you a man, stops you from being a pussy. You know, you die. What do? You get back up. You don't give up. You don't wimp out. You don't go meh and move on. No. You get your ass up, and then you know you take it to the top. You get real on this shit. You don't sit around like a pussy boy. You fight that boss. You kill that boss. He's nothing. And really, when you go back to it, you find out that, though, like after playing all these games in Elden Ring, and then you go back to Dark Souls 1 and you fight like the Capra demon, and you're like, what? This is a hard boss? No, this is just a regular enemy. This ain't shit. And that is the first, you realize this is where you first grew, you know. Epic game. Amazing. I will say it's better than Demon Souls. But we'll get to which one's the best, of course. Let's move on to Dark Souls 2. OG. You remember Dark Souls 2 OG? When there'd be random hide nights all over the world. And, you know, it would be... the lighting was taken out at the last minute, so they had to just make the dark areas kind of greyish. Original Dark Souls 2, I do like. And I played through it. When I first played through it, after playing this amazing game, I was really disappointed though. I was like, oh, this isn't the same thing. But why does this look so much worse than the other one? But why? What? This is bullshit. But you know, after a while, I learned to love Dark Souls 2. Like I started loving Dark Souls 2 when everyone started realizing all the flaws of Dark Souls 2, and then they just took it over the edge and like, oh my god, this game's terrible. But no, Dark Souls 2 is not terrible. But is it better than OG Demon Souls? I don't think so. I mean, in terms of what you can do, the builds and stuff. But yeah, it's not as good as Demon. Even Demon Souls, like that had like lighting and atmosphere and dark, dingy tunnels. And Dark Souls 2 was just so different, you know. Like it was like they used, I guess they used a different engine entirely. And while it was a good game, it just wasn't quite on the level of what they produced with these two. And our next one, Bloodborne. Actually, I can't remember which one came out first, Dark Souls 2 or Bloodborne. I think it was, oh yeah, it was definitely Dark Souls 2. So, sorry. I'm not used to using the mouse, that's why I keep right-clicking. So, Bloodborne. how good is it? It is definitely an epic game, especially with its DLCs. And the thing is, before its DLCs, Bloodborne was quite a short game, other than the Chalice dungeons. Yeah, it was like it was easily the shortest of the games. Maybe a little bit longer than Demon Souls in terms of length, but definitely shorter than Dark Souls 2. It's like maybe that's why Bloodborne is a lot more like Dark Souls 1 in terms of the way it plays. But man, Bloodborne definitely at the top of this. Better than OG Dark Souls 2. Better than Demon Souls. Is it better than Dark Souls 1? That is where we're not sure. I mean, Dark Souls 1. There's so many things in... I don't know. But Bloodborne's brought so much to the game. Like, rather than dodge rolling, you sidestep. Right? You sidestep, don't you, Bloodborne? Wah, 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 wah. And then you got the trick weapons, and you got guns. Sort of like the Shadow Tower answer to the Dark Souls King's Field. And the thing is, though, my opinion at the time hasn't really... I mean, Bloodborne is definitely better than Dark Souls. I don't know, is it? There's something about Dark Souls, man. Like I think of the bosses of Bloodborne, and they're like all epic and stuff with massive choir orchestras and all that. And then I think of the bosses of Dark Souls, and they're very much more like mechanically like Demon Souls, but Dark Souls is just so much of a different breed of game. My opinion, Bloodborne, it is good. It is amazing. It is a great time. There should be a sequel any day now. Come on, Summer Games Fest, let's go. But it's simply not quite. I don't know. Well, Dark Souls brought me to the table, and right now, Bloodborne is only slightly inferior. But on release, Bloodborne was like, it was very short. That I know I mentioned that, but Bloodborne was you basically beat the game in half the time if you didn't do the Chalice dungeons, and there wasn't much reason to do the Chalice dungeons unless you wanted like extra items and stuff. I don't think you even need to go in the Chalice dungeons to get free umbilical cords. But it's a nice amount of side content. Anyway, our next game, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. So in my opinion, this is superior to the OG Dark Souls 2. And is it superior to Demon Souls? Yes, it is. Dark Souls 2 is an amazing game. Scholar of the First Sin. There's so much to this game. There's so many like stuff to get for exploring. Like you can explore all the way around the map, and you can like explore. Like you can go put a portion of the game in New Game Plus and explore for a bit, and re-kill bosses, and there's so many weapons to get. It's just such a nice addictive game. Now, is it better than Bloodborne? Now, this one, I gotta be honest, is a hard one. You know, it's funny, I've probably played more Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. I've done some really long playthroughs of this game, just sitting about, doing everything, trying all new builds, and that is what I like about it better than Bloodborne. But Is it better than Bloodborne though? Because when I think of Bloodborne, I think of the way everything's sort of done. You know, like everything's got its own style and polish. And even though this brought back some good things that were taken out of the original Dark Souls too, like the lighting and stuff, yeah. But this is such a good adventure. This is peak gaming for me in so many ways. It's like the perfect game. Might even be better than OG Dark Souls 2. But I don't know, man. I just, yeah, I really do love some Dark Souls 2. Like, without a doubt. This version specifically. And there's still things that I find today that I just never knew about. Very highly underappreciated game. One of the best RPGs ever. I mean, they're all the best. Some of the best RPGs ever, aren't they? But is it better than this other best RPG ever, known as Bloodborne? Man, I'm gonna get some hate for this, but I'm putting it behind Bloodborne. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dark Souls 2. You're an amazing game. But Bloodborne is just something else. Anyway, what's our next game? Dark Souls 3. Oh, this one's an interesting one. I keep pressing the right click. I'm so sorry about that, folks. Dark Souls 3. This game, I was surprised to find out. I had 900 hours in. I didn't even realise I had that much Dark Souls 3 gameplay time. I've done it again. It is, for me, an amazing game. One of the most played Dark Souls ever for me. One of the most played games ever for me. Along with Dark Souls 2. But what about this version of Dark Souls 2? Well, I'd say Dark Souls 3 is the winner here. It's a bit faster paced, but it's got a lot of weapons and builds and things you can do. They brought in the Ashes of War in this game, or what they're called in. Is it Ashes of War in Elden Ring? Yeah, but each weapon has its own one. You don't get the change like you do in Elden Ring. But this game is very much like the foundation for Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring has the style of Dark Souls 3. Yeah, like Dark Souls 3, that basically is where we're at now. We're in Dark Souls 3 land in terms of Elden Ring. It's a great game. Check it out. There's plenty to do. But when I first played it, I felt it was very linear. And it is very linear. You just go on a straight path for most of it. And then there's like one part where there's a branching path. But then you just keep going the straight path. And it's good, but it's still... It's alright. I'd say it's obviously alright. It's more than alright. It's Dark Souls 3, for fuck's sake. One of the best games. It's got some of my favourite movesets for moves, and I got very creative with the with the thingy in this, with the what do you call it? With the PvP, because it got a nice arena there, and I got myself a lance and a thorn spear and some lightning bloody bolt weapons, and I just had a hell of a time. So for me, better than Dark Souls 2, better than OG Demon Souls. Now, is it better than Scholar of the First Sin? Now, Scholar of the First Sin, as you can see, that guy on that cover looks mean, and I think Dark Souls 3 guy is just going to stay here where he belongs. The problem with Dark Souls 3 is like there's somehow less content than Dark Souls 2. And that to me is like a cardinal sin. Dark Souls 2 just had me like in terms of like the content of Dark Souls 2 and how much there is, just had my imagination going wild for what could possibly be for Dark Souls 3, and unfortunately it was a bit on the shallow end in terms of that. But still a good game. Still a very good game. Alright, our next game. We then have Sekiro. Yes, From Software's first sorry about that. From Software's very first not quite as Souls-like as the other Souls-likes that they've made, but still Sekiro was and is an amazing game in itself. It doesn't need the beat-ups. It doesn't need to have 1,000 different weapons or 500 different armor sets, but or magic spells. But what it does have there is some really interesting stuff. Like, you got ninja weapons, and you got ninja bloody all sorts of ninja stuff. There's a lot of things I like about Sekiro. Like, it reminds me of PS2 sort of ninja games like Tenchu or Onimusha. It had that kind of vibe and style, which I really liked. And also, it had like a okay. So at the time when I was playing those PS2 games, I'd watch these shitty ninja films from the 80s, like these really low budget ninja films. But I really enjoyed the fight scenes. And in the fight scenes, they used all sorts of like ninja gadgets. Like, a guy would shoot like a smoke cloud out the end of his katana and blind the other ninja, or they'd throw like special ninja stars, right? And I just love that sort of shit. And I always wanted a game like that as I was playing Tenchu on the PS2. And Sekiro was kind of exactly the game I want. The game I always dreamed of. And it is so much more perfect than I could imagine. Better than Dark Souls 2 OG? Yes. Better than Demon Souls? Sure. Better than Dark Souls 3? Yeah, I'll say that. Now, its first real combatant, Dark Souls 2. Now, Sekiro, as we all know, brilliant game. The stealth mechanics, you can jump and stealth attack, kill people from all sorts of crazy angles, and it is just you can even stealth kill bosses. Sekiro is a brilliant game. However, Sekiro lacks some things. There's no PvP, right? Which might be cool in your opinion. There's no co-op though, which might also be alright with you. Like, I barely engage with them these days as well when I play Elden Ring. So you don't need to engage in you don't need PvP, but it's also lacking obviously build variety and stuff like that. Like, I played the game a lot, many times, and I've almost cut my stream short. I might get it started up again. I was streaming this game and I was doing really badly, but I was getting places. I was enjoying it. But the thing is, I know so much about the game already, and I've definitely played it less than Dark Souls 2. So, I mean, I guess what's there is a pretty perfect game. But Dark Souls 2 has so much going for it, man. Dark Souls 2 has 3 amazing DLCs. Dark Souls 2 has New Game Plus differences. Dark Souls 2 is just such an epic adventure of a game. Sekiro, though, everything that's there is perfectly crafted. Perfectly done. But Lord, I wish we had some Sekiro DLC. I am Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. That comes with the free DLCs. These are some of the best From Software gameplay you can buy or you can find. That makes it the best Soulslike gameplay you can find. Better than all these. So I'm gonna piss some people off. I'm putting Dark Souls 2 above Sekiro. Yeah, what do you think about that? Yeah, I bet you're mad. I'm sorry. But Sekiro, for what it is, perfect game. But they're all perfect games, aren't they? And speaking of perfect games, what do we have here? Look at this one. Probably the mother of all perfect games, when you think about it. Well, no. This is the mother of all perfect games. But this is such a perfect game. There's just so much to this, isn't there? Elden Ring, OG, you can't be beat. You know that I'm adding Shadow of the Erdtree in with this, which is basically, you know, the equivalent size of like this game. So or this game, but you know, Elden Ring. Where do we put it? Okay, so it is better than Dark Souls 2. It is better than Demon Souls. It's better than Dark Souls 3. Is it better than Sekiro? Well, if Dark Souls 2 is better than Sekiro because you got a lot more builds and stuff to do in it, then yeah, you're darn tootin'. Elden Ring is better than Sekiro. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bully Sekiro. Look, it's better than these games. So, like, what do you want me to say? Anyway, Elden Ring is better than Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. Now, I don't know if you've heard this meme, but some people call Elden Ring Dark Souls 2 2. Because it's like Dark Souls 2, but, you know, it's got so much more stuff in it. It's just a big, massive game. And yeah, we'll put it above Dark Souls 2. Because it's just such a brilliant, perfect game with so much going for it. Although there are some things I like about Dark Souls 2 more. Oops. Elden Ring is, yeah, it's better than Dark Souls 2. Definitely. It's basically eclipses it in terms of content. And there's more to do, more exploration. It's taken all the cool things from Dark Souls 3, polished them up, given you some new options like the Ashes of War, and it has created, given you the ability to jump as well, and that's very important to some people, and it has given you loads to do. But anyway, so it is better than Dark Souls 2. Much as I like that game, but it's better than Bloodborne. Yes, I will say it's better than Bloodborne for similar reasons. It's got all the, you know, the Bloodborne, but sorry, not for same reasons that it's better than the other games, because it's just got so much more content. But it's also, it's like Elden Ring is like the end goal of where Demon Souls started. Like, I don't know if you've heard the story where Sony wanted From Software to make the PlayStation their own version of Skyrim. And so they made Demon Souls, and then the owner of PlayStation called it the worst thing he'd ever played in his entire life. The Doyle. But yeah, so what this would be at its basically, top tier evolution. Like this is basically the evolution of all these into this. And is it better than Dark Souls 1? Oh my, well, you've heard how much I love Dark Souls 1. And how complimentary I am of this fine, amazing game that will never be beat and will always be the greatest game ever made. But if I'm to be honest, if I sit down and I'm gonna play something, you know what? How about I play some Dark Souls 1? Let's do some Night Rain review. I'm sorry, Elden Ring, but Dark Souls 1, man, it's motherfucking Dark Souls 1. It cannot be beat. It is the game I wanna give myself brain damage to, so I can play it again with no memory. But I might play even worse because I have brain damage. Anyway, Elden Ring Night Rain. Is it better than Dark Souls 1? Now, Elden Ring Night Rain. I've got like 500 hours in it, lads. Yeah, I'm almost ashamed to admit this game's been out for a year, and I've spent 500 hours in it. So I'm gonna do a little bit math right now. $500 to days. 20 days! 20 whole days of my year has been playing this. That's 20 days. What have I become? Elden Ring Night Rain, you bastard. When are you gonna get some more new content, you doyle? Now I would say it's better than Dark Souls 2. OG. I'd say it's even better than Demon Souls. Because it is an amazing game. Almost perfect. Yeah, there's just, you run about on the map, you level up. I always dreamed, and I know I've been saying this so many times, and somehow From Software has always pulled through with my dreams. Okay, my dream games have all been made by From Software. It's crazy, because after playing Dark Souls and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I had this idea of a Dark Souls PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and look what has been produced. The Dark Souls PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, the Dark Souls Fortnite, the bloody Dark Souls whatever Battle Royale game, and it is amazing. Highly recommended. But is it better than Dark Souls 3? I don't know. Because Dark Souls 3 seems to be getting shit on here. What's it doing so low on the pack? That's a bloody fine-ass game you got there. But it is amongst many other fine-ass games. Now, Dark Souls 3, I got about 900 hours in. But Elden Ring Night Rain, I got 500 hours in less of a time. I've had so much fun with both these games. But I've played them to death. And the thing about Elden Ring Night Rain, though, as amazing as it is, and as many hours as I've spent on it, this is going to be like one of them Steam reviews where it's like thumbs down and you spent 20,000 hours in it. Oh, okay, yeah, that guy obviously hates the game. But I don't hate this game. I've spent like thousands of hours in this game. but I'm not going to put it above Dark Souls 3. Because Dark Souls 3 is just... the content seems like... I don't know what it is. But Elden Ring Night Rain, there's 2 maps, right? There's different versions of those maps. But then there's 8 characters and there's a lot of weapons. But I just feel like there needs to be a little bit more. Right? Why can't you just add all the Shadow of the Erdtree weapons? Right? Just do that. Do it, charge me money for it and I'll buy it, you bastards. Right, just and how about another new map? How about some new characters? How about some new quest lines, yeah? So like there's the quest lines in Elden Ring Night Rain are so short. I'd like some more of that. How about some more different relics? But other than that, Elden Ring Night Rain, it's good, brilliant. But Dark Souls 3 has more of an influence. Dark Souls 3 is like it's granddad, you know. It can't fight Dark Souls 3. Anyway, what do we have? Who will be the GOAT? Well, it's Dark Souls 1, isn't it? It is Dark Souls 1. The greatest game of all times. Dark Souls 1. Amazing. 10 out of 10. 5 stars. Don't you just love it? The best game ever made. And if you don't agree with that, I'll forget to make the video fade.